My mom threw me and my kids out of Christmas dinner right after I spent $22,000 this year to keep them afloat. She said my sister deserved it more and slammed the door. So I canceled their mortgage, truck loan, and every payment. The snowstorm took care of the rest. Adam, stop ruining this night! Mom's voice trembled but stayed sharp like she'd rehearsed it. The lights flickered from the storm outside, wrapping the house in gold and shadow. My son clutched my coat sleeve, whispering, "Did we do something bad, Dad?" I didn't answer. I was too busy trying not to shake. The table was set, linen napkins, glass plates, the kind we never used unless company came over. I wasn't company. I was the mistake that showed up anyway. Lena crossed her legs on the couch, scrolling her phone. "Honestly, Mom, he shouldn't have come uninvited," she said without looking up. Dad muttered from behind his beer, "You always make a scene, Adam." A scene. That's what they called me, showing up with my kids and food I couldn't afford. Mom's face turned red. "You think buying a few things gives you a seat at this table? We didn't ask for your charity." I looked at the Christmas tree. Half the gifts underneath had my receipts. I kept my voice steady. "You're welcome for the mortgage." She froze. The room went quiet enough to hear the snow hitting the window. Her lip trembled. "What's that supposed to mean?" The door slammed before I could answer. From behind it, Lena's voice rang out. "He's lying. He never paid a dime for this house." My name's Adam Keene, 28 years old. I fix furnaces and boilers in a small Pennsylvania town. Long hours, small paychecks, cold hands. My parents used to tell people I worked with my hands, like it was some small embarrassment. Meanwhile, those same hands kept their heat on every winter for 3 straight years. I paid their mortgage, their truck loan, even their grocery bills when Dad's investments went south, but you wouldn't know that by how they talked to me. They never said thank you, just, "Can you send it sooner?" Every time the phone buzzed, I braced myself for another favor. When I divorced, Mom said, "Maybe if you weren't so moody, she'd have stayed." When I got a promotion, Dad said, "You're still just a tech, don't act big." And when I told them I was struggling this year, Mom just sighed. Lena's been struggling too, but she doesn't complain. That night, standing in the snow, my kids in the back seat, I realized something brutal. I was never their son, I was their solution. Hook. And they had no idea that the solution was about to vanish. The family table. Mom. Carla Keene, 53, smiles for neighbors, daggers for me, always in pearls even when broke. Said she had standards. Dad. Rick, 61, calls himself old school, thinks apology is weakness. Never hugged me once after age 12. Lena, 26, the golden child. Her degree, paid with my tax refund. Her car, bought with family help, meaning me again. At Christmas dinner, they all had their roles. Mom, the martyr. Dad, the ruler. Lena, the darling. And me, the invisible one who still had to smile in the family photo. I remember last year's dinner. I offered to say grace, and Mom said, "Let your sister." People listened to her. Everyone laughed like it was nothing. This year, the pattern repeated. When I walked in, Dad's first words were, "Didn't expect you'd show up after last time." Lena muttered, "You shouldn't have." I saw Mom slip my daughter a gift and whisper, "Don't tell Daddy who it's from." It was from me. That's when I realized they didn't just ignore me. They erased me. When Lena said, "He only sends a few hundred, not enough to matter." I caught the flicker in Mom's eyes. Guilt, because she knew the truth. I sat in the car that night, heater barely working, kids half asleep in the back. My daughter asked, "Are we still part of the family?" I didn't know how to answer that. I watched the windows glow from their house, warm, full, alive. Mine was cold, quiet, honest. Inside, I saw Lena pacing near the window. She came out 5 minutes later in her coat, arms folded. "Mom's crying," she said. "You made her feel small." I laughed under my breath. "I spent $22,000 this year to make her feel safe." She rolled her eyes. "She never asked." "Exactly," I said. She just expected. For the first time, she didn't have a comeback, just a fake shrug and that sharp smirk I'd grown up seeing. "You're jealous," she said softly. "You always have been." Then she turned, heels crunching in the snow. As she walked back in, I heard her whisper to Dad. He might actually stop paying this time. Morning came gray and heavy. My phone wouldn't stop buzzing. Dad's voice roared through the line. "You think you're some big man now? You don't get to pull out when your family depends on you." I kept calm. I'd learned long ago, shouting back gives them fuel. "You mean when you depend on me," I said. He ignored that. "Your mother's sick over this. You made her cry on Christmas." The same woman who told my kids to leave. Mom grabbed the phone then. Her voice turned soft, weapon soft. "Adam, honey, we didn't mean to upset you. You know how your father gets." I stayed quiet. She continued, "You know Lena's been going through a lot. She deserves a little help." I clenched the phone. "She has everything, Mom. What does she need help with? Guilt?" The silence that followed told me everything. "You've always been so bitter," she whispered finally. "You don't understand love when it's not about money." That hit hard, because all I ever gave was love, just not the kind they counted. I said one quiet line. "Then maybe you should start paying for your own love." 2 winters ago, Dad called me at midnight, voice shaking, pretending to be humble. "Son, I hate to ask this, but the truck's about to be repossessed. We can't lose it. It's all we have." I didn't hesitate. I'd just gotten my tax refund, $8,000 I'd planned for my kids. I wired it that night. A week later, Lena posted a photo. "New truck for Dad. He deserves the best." Mom commented, "So proud of our girl for helping her family. Not one mention of me, not one thank you." I called Mom that night. She said, "We didn't want to embarrass you. People might think you're struggling." I was, because of them. That was the moment something in me cracked. Not anger, but disappointment so deep it felt permanent. I learned that in this family, silence isn't peace, it's permission, and I'd been giving them permission for years. 3 days after Christmas, my phone rang again, the bank this time. "Mr. Keene, we're confirming cancellation of the automatic payments linked to your name." "Yes," I said, "all of them. The mortgage, the truck loan, the insurance, all under my profile. All gone." That night, Lena showed up crying, mascara streaking her cheeks. "You can't do this, Adam. Mom's losing it. Dad's furious. They'll lose the house." I stayed calm. "Then maybe they'll learn to build one." She blinked, confused. "Mom said you barely sent anything, that she and Dad covered the rest." I handed her the bank statements, line after line, transfers, payments, dates, my name everywhere. Her hands trembled. She said, "I know what she said," I cut in. "She lied because truth would ruin the story where she's the hero." She sank into the chair, whispering, "I didn't know." I almost felt sorry for her. Almost. She looked up, eyes red. "So what now?" I said. "Now, they finally live without me." The group chat turned into chaos. "Dad, you ungrateful brat." "Mom, please think of your family." Lena, audio message full of sobs. I didn't reply. For once, I didn't need to. That night, the snowstorm hit harder than the forecast predicted. Power outages everywhere. Their house, the one I kept warm for years, went dark. Mom called. Her voice was shaking. "Adam, we don't have heat. The system's out." I closed my eyes. I'd installed that furnace myself, patched it 100 times for free. My son asked, "Who's on the phone, Dad?" I whispered, "No one who needs saving." Mom started crying. "Please, Adam, your father's freezing." My hands trembled, but my voice didn't. "You told us to leave first, remember?" And I ended the call. Outside, the wind howled, but for the first time, I didn't feel cold. The storm passed. The roads stayed closed for days. I heard they spent 2 nights at a motel, borrowing money from Lena's friends. I didn't check in. I didn't need to. My kids laughed that morning, eating pancakes I finally had time to make. No shouting, No judgment, just warmth. Mom texted one last time, "We never meant to hurt you." I replied, "You just didn't care if you did." Then I deleted her number. Lena tried again days later. "You win." But I wasn't playing. This wasn't revenge, it was recovery. I looked at my kids and said, "We're not missing anything. We just stopped begging for it." Months passed. Spring melted the snow that had buried their house. I drove by once just to see. The for sale sign was up. The truck was gone. The driveway empty. For the first time, I didn't feel guilty. Just lighter. Sometimes I wonder if they ever sit together and realize what they lost. Not the money, but the son who answered every call. The quiet one they never thought would stop answering. Forgiveness, I've learned, isn't for them. It's for me. To stop carrying their debt in my chest. Standing under the open sky that spring, I said quietly, "For the first time, I don't carry their weight anymore." The snow melted, but the silence I broke, that stayed gone forever. I used to think being a good son meant saving everyone else, even the ones who kept sinking me. But sometimes, the only way to save your family is to stop being their lifeboat. If you were in my place, would you forgive them, or would you walk away forever? Share your thoughts in the comments. Maybe your story will help someone still stuck in the same storm. Like if you've ever carried someone else's burden. Subscribe for more stories that remind you. Strength doesn't always shout. Sometimes, it just leaves.